Hi viewers, this is Dr. Gunaman Jana and you are watching video with me on AWT, that is the Abstract Window Toolkit. And as you know that this is one of the API that is used for developing the graphical user interface, and it is purely a window-based application in Java. So in Java, you want to develop an applications that to purely window-based. In that case, we have to go for this AWT. And this Java AWT, there are a number of components. These components are platform dependent. For a particular platform, it will work. Same thing you want to run it in another platform, it may. That's why we call it the platform dependent. The components are displayed according to the views of operating system. Suppose Windows operating system, based on that, it will currently it may not run in Linux or other operating Mac operating. And this AWT or this abstract window toolkit is a heavyweight and its component are using the resources of underlying operations operating system. Okay, and it will be using some packages. The most important package is the AWT package, like the java.awt package. It provides the classes for AWT API. Whatever the classes we need for the AWT API, all the things are available in this java.awt, such as you need the text field, we need the label, we need the text area, radio button, checkbox. Whatever the component will be using for that, whatever the classes required, so that is available in the Java AWT. Okay. So java.awt. So you understand you want to use this API. So in that the first the very important thing is that we have to import these packages, right? Then this AWT tutorials, it will help us or help the user to understand the Java graphical user interface programming in a simple and easy steps. Let us look at this diagram. Here we can clearly understand. You see, whenever we go for you see here, first we are starting with the components. For example, the component is here. Components here. What are the components here? We have an idea about that. And all the elements, like we are using a button. See, I am going to create a frame, or I am to create a form, whatever you like that. So there will be buttons, there will be text field, there will be scroll bars. All the things we call it as the elements. So all these elements we call it as the components. Okay. So this we call it as the component. And in Java AWT, there are classes for each component. Whatever the component you are using, for each component there is a class. And as shown in the above diagram, in order to place every component in a particular position, suppose you are developing a application, then you have to put some component in some particular position. So for that, in to put on a screen, we need to add the classes to the container, right? So for example, we go for more refinement. The container is a component in AWT that can contain another component. Try to understand. Container is a component in AWT. It can also contain another component like the buttons, the text field, labels, etc. The classes that extend container classes are known as the container, such as frame, dialog, and panel. You see the diagram here. This is the frame, this is the dialog, and this is the panel. All things are there in the container, and ultimately, try to understand. Okay, and what are the things we are coming? So for example, I say button is a component, label is a component, checkbox is a component, choice is a component. Okay, so list is a component, and these are all things. And I told you that container can also contain another component or a list of components. Right now, let us have more details about this container. I told you that the container is a component in AWT that can contain another component like the buttons, text fields, labels, etc. The classes that extends container classes are known as the container, such as frame, dialog, and the panel. And it is basically a screen where the components are placed at specific locations. Now, let us take an example, or we write a program where you can all the things. I want to first import this AWT class. In which package it is there? So it is there in the java.awt. How do we import all the things? We have a command import. Import space java.awt dot star. That means how many AWT classes are there. Everything I want to import here. And at the end put a semicolon. Here. Now this is the first thing you want to use AWT and use that API and all the classes. We have to import java.awt dot asterisk or the star semicolon. Then say suppose I want to extend the frame class to our class AWT example. Suppose my AWT example I want to extend the class frame. Okay, how to do? So I declare the type is the public and class name is AWT example.1. It extends the frame. Try to understand. Extending frame class to our this example what I am using AWT example.1. So this is the procedure public space class space AWT example1 which extends the frame. Now the thing start here. Now we have to initialize using the constructor. How to initialize? So what is the class I created here? Is my class name. This class AWT example 1 because this is the first you can write any name or I am writing example 1 next I write example 2. Choice is yours or program 1 program 2 anything you write. So this class it extends the frame. Now to initialize this class what I do AWT example 1. So I create a method. This is the constructor. This is for initializing. Then I need to create a button for these things. What I have to do? So you see, I want to. This is the button component I am using, and the name I am writing it is click me. On the top of the button it will be written click me or sign in or login. What things you write that write in double. And using the new, so new button, you create a instance or create a button, name it B. So button B, which is equal to new button, the name is parameter is click me. Right now, so we need to set the bottom position on screen. That means from x-axis it is 30, y-axis it is 100. The coordinate is 30 by 100, and at that 80 by 30, I need this button size. Try to understand. So suppose this is the starting here. Here it is 30, and here it is 100, and here 80 by 30. This width is 80 and height is 30. So this much of pixel I take it there. The button boundary is set up. Then adding button to this frame. How to do? Add B. What is the B? B is the instance of this button. What? Right? So to adding the button into the frame, just I put add B. Then you declare the frame size. Suppose I set the frame size 300 by 300. So width is equal to 300 and height is equal to 300. Then you write the command set size method. Set size camel notation I am using it here 300 by 300 semicolon. Now setting the title of the frame. Here for sizing, set sizing, we are using set size. For set title, you write the set title. So this is our first AWT example like that. Okay. So now this is how to create the frame size, how to set the frame. Next is a number of layer manager. So set no layer manager. So set layer or layout null. Now frame will be visible by default. It is not visible, then set visible to true. By default, it should visible. If not, then you put set visible to true. Okay, this is the um, things the thing. Then I have to count the main method public static void main statements. So creating instance of this frame class. Suppose I am creating an instance app of new AWT example and I write AWT example one which app which is equal to new all things right. So with this, if you run this program and you can see a button is created. The name of the button it click me, and once you click, then afterwards you write some coding for that one. It will move to other or it will submit whatever things are there. Okay, so this is how exactly we create components these things. So for the time being, we pause it